What's up, guys? I wanted to talk today about the mind-body connection. This is a very, very important issue to me. I've noticed I've worked with a lot of other natural health practitioners, and every single one of them seems to focus on a singular thing, right? More than others. And I've seen some that really focus on digestion, some focus on gut health. Others may focus on heavy metals or nutrition, but they all seem to really kind of hone in on one thing or another. And these are all good things. These are all helpful things, and I'm sure they're all very good at their jobs and what they do, and they probably focus in on it because they've probably seen that particular thing that they focus in on has seemed to produce the best results with other people, with themselves, the people around them. And so you want to hone in on that. You want to focus on that, right? And mine, I think my calling, or what I really try to hone in on, what I see the best results in, is when we focus on this mind-body connection. And what I'm talking about right there is that when the body is stressed, when we are stressed, the rest of the body just doesn't work as well. For one, the digestion doesn't work as well, which means that we are not going to be absorbing the proper nutrients that we essentially need, right? There's a lot of other things that can be connected to the mind and the body as well, that when we're stressed, just the rest of the body just doesn't work as well. And I don't really have to tell you this, but we all realize that something is going on out here. Something is not right. It just seems off. And while it can be a number of things, one thing that I really focus on, of course, is just overstimulation, right? That, in the past 10 or 15 years, technology, especially with social media and our smartphones and the apps and all that stuff, has really started to bombard us. And we get into these things, we get into these apps or social media platforms or whatever it is, very innocently. We want to connect. We want to know what other people are doing and be a part of something. And that's normal. That's normal for humans to want to do that. But I think then from there on, what these apps have continuously done is continuously tried to overstimulate us, so that we stay on there as much as possible. And I don't have to tell you this, how many of us have binge watched a TV show for, a whole day, or found ourselves watching 30-second reels on either Facebook or Instagram or TikTok for hours and hours. And then we do it, and then at the end we are upset with ourselves because I was like, I could have been doing so many other things, and I just wasted a bunch of time of my life, or I wasted my day off, or I wasted time I could have been spending with friends or family, or getting things done that I have to get done, and I wasted that time. And in that time, these 30-second clips, they're designed to keep us very stimulated, and it stresses us out. And with the phone as well, the app send us notifications, so we're constantly looking at our phones. And I was reading somewhere that the average person checks their phone nearly 100 times a day. Nearly 100 times, which is, close to once every 10 minutes. And each time we are running the risk of getting locked into it, right? And so there's this overstimulus that's going on. We're no longer bored anymore. We always have something that we can sort of turn to for entertainment, right? But of course, the problem with that is, with that overstimulation is going to come more stress. And when we are stressed, the body is not going to work as well, like I said before. So, I'm going to go into a few of the things that I've implemented in my own life to try to stay off the streaming services, try to stay off the apps, try to stay off the phone. And these may not work for you. That's fine, right? I'm not asking anybody to do anything. I'm just telling you some of the things that I've done. A lot of times we get real defensive in the situations, and we say, well, I can't do that because X, Y, and Z. Okay, I'm not asking you to do this, right? I'm just telling you some of the things that I have done. For one, to stay off the phone as much, and yes, I still do have a cell phone. Now, I work from home a lot. I do have an office. When I'm there, I'm working with clients, right? And I don't want to be on my phone. I want to give them my full attention. And when I'm at home, I'm usually making extracts, doing things like this. And again, I don't want to be on my phone. So I do have a home phone that I use through Uma. It's a platform where you just plug it into your router. And so during the day, most of the time, I will have my cell phone off. Okay? And I forward all those calls to my home phone, which seems pretty ancient, I know, but it seems to work. And I'll get on my phone, every couple hours, probably about 3 or 4 times a day, to check to see if I have text messages or something like that. Most of the time, if it's important enough, people will call me. If I'm not here, like I said, if I'm in the office or something like that, I'm out and about running errands, then again, if it's important enough, people will leave a message, but there's also caller ID, so I can read that as well to get back to them. So for one, home phone is in use most of the time as opposed to my cell phone. Now let's talk about some of the other things that can pop up because of that. I still use an old Garmin GPS in my car. This stops me from having to pull up my phone and use GPS all the time to look for where I'm going. To be honest, 95% of the time when I hop in my car, I already know where I'm going. But if I have to go out of town or somewhere I don't know of, I have that old Garmin. You guys probably all remember it if you're my age, and they still work. You can even update your maps to make sure all your locations are updated from there. Okay. Let's see. So I've gone through those 2 things right now. Okay. Yeah. I also don't have any streaming services. I think streaming, again, was very cool when it first came out. And it seemed to save money. I met a lot of people that are like, hey, I'm going to cancel my cable because I now have Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, and this is only $15 or $20 a month or whatever it is. And over time, certain TV shows are only showed on certain platforms, and certain movies are only on certain platforms. So before you know it, you got 4 or 5 platforms and you're paying for them all, right? And you're really not saving any kind of money from what you're doing before with cable. And the thing is, we have all these, and we'll still say to ourselves, like, I don't know what to watch. I don't know what to put on, right? I think, again, this is like from overstimulation, right? We believe now I can't watch the same TV show twice. I can't watch the same movie twice. Some of you probably do. But, again, it's like nothing is really interesting to us anymore. We've been overstimulated. So we might even be watching one of these movies and just playing on our phone in the meantime. So I do have entertainment. I have about 20 DVDs that I bought at a local place here. It was 20 DVDs for $12, right? And, at first it is a little bit hard, but then you start to realize, like, these 20 DVDs are like plenty, right? It's plenty of entertainment, right? If I need to sit down and watch a movie, I want to sit down and watch a movie, it's company over, whatever, we can watch. I have 20 DVDs to pick from. I picked them all out. They're all pretty good, right? It's okay that I can watch them more than once. And it doesn't give me this overstimulation. It doesn't give me this abundance of choices where I can't make up my mind on what I want to watch. So again, that seems to work out pretty well for me. And then lastly, I have an old radio. I'll be honest with you, I found it on the side of the road. It can play CDs, it can play the radio, and so I don't have Spotify. And when I'm working at home, I just turn on that radio, right? And just listen to whatever it plays. I don't have to pick out each song that I want to listen to. I don't have to design this. I don't have to make a ton of decisions. I just turn on that radio in the morning and let it kind of decide what I'm going to listen to throughout the day. And it's great. It's great. So I know this doesn't seem as crazy as it used to. I think a lot of us are opening our eyes to this, especially in the last year or two, that, we are bored with this. We do realize we're overstimulated. We do realize that all this screen time is not good for us. We're waking up to it. But we're so ingrained to think that we have to have this that it's hard to make a change. Now, a lot of people really are. I first really started to notice this and started to look into it probably about 5 years ago. And I read a book called Digital Minimalism, and it really opened my eyes up to a lot of things, and started working my way towards this over time. And it's a great book. I definitely recommend it. I don't love the name because I don't consider this minimalism. I consider this intentionalism, right? I'm just more intentional with my time. I'm more intentional with what goes in and out of my brain, and more aware of how that connects to my body, right? And, you know, the thing about it is, if you're my age or around my age or older than me, we can say, well, it's crazy to think about not having my cell phone on me all the time. It's crazy about having DVDs again or a home phone, all these things, listening to the radio. But the thing is, like, we all lived like this before. And it really wasn't that long ago that we did, right? And we were okay with all this stuff. We were perfectly okay. And truth be told, we didn't ask for this, right? We didn't ask for it. We're perfectly okay. And then it just comes along and we begin to adapt to it, right? And it becomes a new normal. And we accept these technologies, we accept these new things without ever really asking ourselves what I may be losing by doing this, right? So I think we can end up losing a lot. I think it can end up hurting us in so many ways. So that's why I say I try to be intentional and look at each aspect as they come out, or maybe where I need to limit what I am doing. Okay, so maybe those things don't work out for you. That's fine. Maybe you don't even see it as a problem at all. That's fine as well, you know. But maybe for some of you that are questioning this, that are noticing this, like so many else are, those are just some of the things that I've done that have continued to work for me. Anyway, see you guys.